Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Inverum.
I'm Glitter Explosion.
And we're back for another weekly recap. The game's been going fast and furious. And Glitter, we're starting to get down towards the end here. Week 7. Can you believe it? Especially looking back, as we take a look at the program as a whole, it's crazy.
I actually can't believe it. Once I realized where we were calendar-wise, I don't know how we got here so quickly. Every single week has had a little something different to spice it up. So I anticipate this week to be no different.
I mean, especially because we're getting down to the wire now. You talk about every single week, things are getting different, but fast. And I said we're approaching this mobile challenge season. Things are getting close, which means that it's getting down to the wire for a lot of these players. And look, if you're at home and you're just joining us, you're not super familiar with what's going on, it's the ESL Mobile Open. It's an amazing opportunity to get involved in mobile esports across a ton of different game titles. And not only that, your chance to level up a little bit, go on to the next level for games like Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars. A lot of amazing opportunities. We have this video to break it all down, so let's take a look. Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
Well, now that you guys know a little bit more about the ESL Mobile Open, this show, if you don't know what we're all about here, this is our weekly recap show. So all of the amazing action that goes down every single week, we're here to talk to you guys about it across all of our amazing mobile titles. And it is fun. Let me tell you, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. And we were just saying that, Paul. It's been great every single time.
100%. It's so cool to see how the meta's been evolving across all these different game titles, especially because things are constantly evolving and adapting. Every new balance patch and update. And again, we get to try and keep track of all these different games, which makes it tough for us, which is great, though, because we have experts for every single one of these games to break it down, which makes it just that little bit easier. But let's start things off. Let's start things off with Brawl Stars. Let's not wait. Let's not keep people waiting any longer. Let's take a look at our leaderboards here to start things off for Brawl Stars. These leaderboards are particularly important, Glitter, is of course, they're what determines our mobile challenge play-ins, and that number 1 team at the top, they get an automatic spot in the ESL Mobile Challenge.
Yeah, Aqua is sitting pretty comfortably right now up there in first place. So it's going to be a battle here for the rest of the squads to try and make it through, like you said. I mean, and look how close some of these teams are. I mean, there's 3 points separating 6th and 7th place, and then only 1 to 7th and 8th. And there's lots of names on here that we've seen before, but then there's also some names that are sneaking on up here in the list. I mean, Ion Gaming's here in 5th, Candace in 8th.
I mean, this is something we've got to keep an eye on because this is what matters. This final week of play is determining who has that shot at the mobile challenge. There's a lot of money on the line once you get into that mobile challenge. So that's what all these teams are gunning for, and we're looking towards that 9th spot. House au chocolat is how I would say that as a king. Who knows? It's House of Chocolate, probably, but not today. They have a pretty comfortable lead there, I would say, between 9th and 10th, but I don't think anything's set in stone.
No, and honestly, we can say that with experience because we've seen how many changes there have been across the leaderboards from week to week and from ladder to ladder. We've seen new names rise to the top, old names fall down a little bit. So it's all over the place, and I'm not going to make any predictions on any of this until we get to those final moments.
You can't do it. The second you try and pin this down, it just squirms away. It is not having any of it. Oh, man. This is going to be interesting getting into these final few weeks of play. Well, actually, no, this last week of play was pretty interesting because, hint, hint, we've seen the videos. Speaking of videos, Ash Brawl Stars. Oh my goodness, Glitter. This week was fun.
It was very, very fun, to say the least. I mean, let's not waste people's time anymore. Let's check in with Ash and see what he had to say about all of this week's Brawl Star action.
What's up, guys? I'm Ash, and welcome back to another week of the ESL Mobile Open, where we're going to be covering some of the best teams in North America. We're going to be diving into their strategies, as well as analyzing some of the maps that they're going to be playing. I'm going to give you guys the best advice on what brawlers to use and ban on these maps. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get it started. The first map we're going to be covering is Kaboom Canyon for Heist, one of the most open heist maps in the game, and so long-range brawlers, particularly snipers, are going to be dominating on this map. So that's why you have to ban Belle and Colette. Those are your two best brawlers on this map. Other brawlers that are really good: Nanny, super long range, Brock, Apic, Colt, Byron, all these brawlers with really long range. And then you also have Crow, very underrated brawler. What makes him so good is his slowing toxin gadget. Slows down everyone, making it very easy to snipe your targets when they've been slowed down for 5 whole seconds. So these are your top brawlers for Kaboom Canyon. Alright guys, our first game is going to be between Don't Lose to Us at the bottom versus Ion Gaming at the top. I love that both teams are running Piper on this map. This is an excellent map to use Piper in because it's a very open map, of course. And Colette is a beast, the best brawler on this map. So that's what RBM is going. On the other hand, we have Z running Nanny. From previous ESL weeks, we've seen Nanny completely dominate on this map with that teleport to the safe, right? So I love that Z is running that. And also both team running Crow. Crow is an excellent brawler, very underrated in the current meta, probably one of the best brawlers right now in the game, and much of it has to do with the slowing toxin gadget. Basically, you just poison them and then you just activate that gadget and it's going to slow them down. As you can see, RBM and Barhaz, they've been slowed down for 5 whole seconds. That's a very long time to be slowed down. Makes slowing toxin one of the best gadgets in the game, and that's why you're going to see Crow being used a ton in this meta, especially in competitive. Right here, Pain's going to jump back. Zekrom is going to jump back with his Piper to prevent getting taken out by the grenade, and looking very good for Don't Lose to Us. Can Zekrom finish off Barhaz here? He's going to use the gadget, and Barhaz barely manages to dodge that. And look at Z, though. He's going to use his super, and he's going to teleport. He's going to teleport all the way to the top left wall, behind that wall. And look at what Barhaz has to do. He has to move back to help out his teammate RBM to double team Z. So this is an excellent play by Z. Just getting so much attention right there, forcing them to double team him, and that's allowing his teammates Lucky Bear and Zekrom to move up and get control, right? So that was a great play by Z. Again, Z has his super. RBM has his super with Colette, though, and remember what we said about Colette. One super does a ton of damage, 12% on your safe, so you really don't want that Colette on your safe. Z again gonna teleport in and deal a massive amount of damage. Just one direct shot from Nanny does 2,940 damage, so you really don't want Nanny teleporting to your safe. RBM again, another great Colette super. Both teams going back and forth with the heavy damage right now, and it's a really close game, 46% to 36. Look at Z again, just up there being a nuisance to the other team, forcing them to double team him. Right here we can see Barhaz behind this wall trying to double team. I think a misclick by Lucky Bear with his jump, kind of missed that Crow, and this is gonna be really close. 3 seconds, 41%, 34%. Colette with the super, 35 to 34%. They just won by 1%. That was insane. Basically Colette right there, if she had made it back by a millisecond, that would have been game. Our next map's going to be Double Swoosh. This is one of my favorite gem grab maps in the game. So much bushes here. Makes for really great stealthy plays. And the two best brawlers on this map, Jean and Terra, they are just so dangerous, hiding in the bushes and using their super to pull you. So you have to ban or use these two brawlers. And we also have really strong meta brawlers on this map: Amber, Belle, Sandy, Max, Carl. These are going to be your other powerful brawlers. And then Poco is an excellent mid if you're going to ban Jean. With Jean gone, Poco becomes a monster here. And Crow is very underrated as well, because with his shots you can poison them and scout them hidden in the bushes. Same with Sandy and Sandy super, the Rude Sand star power you can use to scout the enemies hiding in the bush. So these are your top brawlers for double swoosh. Alright guys, our next game is going to be between Redbine at the bottom versus Cool2BGG at the top. Redbine running a pretty conventional comp with Max, Carl, and Amber. Like we said, these are the brawlers you want to run when Jean and Terra are banned. And these three brawlers are very strong in the current meta. Top 5, top 10 brawlers. On the other end, we have Angel Yu with Bo, very underrated brawler, as well as Nando on the lane running Spike and doing an excellent job winning his lane, pushing SND back, forcing Ben here to help him out so they can double team against the Spike and keep him back. SND going to use that Amber, but look at Nando using his super to heal himself. He's got the fertilized star power, so he can use that super to get back in play. And Bobo with an aggressive play with his Carl to take out the Bo and try to take out Togi. Unfortunately couldn't, but did trade a kill. And Ben doing a really good job securing the gems. He's already picked up 6 of them as opposed to Angel Yu, who's only got 2 gems. So Redbine still in control of this game, having most of the gems. Again, Ben gonna support SND with the speed. And again, Ben picking up more gems. Redbine already at 8 gems now. Angels has his mines. He's going to place them right there. Ben's going to try to activate them. But Angel Yu with the sneaky play. The way he won it was the tripwire gadget. They did not expect the tripwire there. Basically, whenever you have mines on the field, if you play tripwire just like that, it's gonna instantly activate those mines. Oh my goodness, what a play! Redbine did not see that coming at all. Insane by Angel Yu. MVP, very well played. Alright guys, our final match is going to be between Ion Gaming versus WTFA at the top. Another new team we're seeing. What's interesting about this matchup is that both teams are running the same comps. We have a mirror match of Barley versus Barley, Max versus Max, and Ems versus Ems. So it's going to come down to whichever team plays it the best here. Payne going aggressive, but he's going to take some hits. He's going to need to back up and heal with his Max. Barha's also taking some hits from Frost, forcing him to use that Herbal Tonic gadget. I love that gadget. It's one of the best I feel like. Instant recovery for you and your teammates. Right now, Barha's doing his best to keep the enemy Barley back. And again, Payne making his way up. Going to use that speed support to help his teammates. Unfortunately, not going to be able to score here because they did lose their M's teammate. So it's a 2v3 and it's going to make it easier for WTFA to defend that. Again, Payne using that super. This time RBM has his super with M's. Gonna take them all out and then score. Very well played. Great teamwork between Payne and RBM right there. They're gonna take the lead 1-0. Frost using his super with Max, giving that speed support. Again, Barha's using that Herbal Tonic gadget to heal himself and his teammates back to full here. Looking very good for Ion Gaming right now. Barhaz is pretty low right now, so he's gonna need to back up and heal. Payne doing a great job keeping the mid controlled, and RBM also doing a pretty good job keeping the enemy M's back. Right here, look at RBM going aggressive, Payne going aggressive. This could be a goal for Ion Gaming, but look at Frost intercepting the goal, then using his gadget to quickly move up and score that. Very, very well played right there by Frost, stealing that opportunity from Ion by intercepting the goal. Awesome play. And now we have Ion again trying to work their way, again asserting themselves, keeping WTFA back. Frost taking his time, charging that max super. It's all about getting your max super and then supporting your teammate with that speed, and that's how you get quick control. RBM got that speed support. Payne going aggressive. They're trying to push WTFA all the way back. Again, Barahaz and Payne double teaming Frost at the left. Can they take Frost out? They did take out Frost. Barahaz is out of gadgets though. He can't really heal back his teammates anymore quickly. Payne's going to use that speed. And again, try to get that ball. Going to pass to... Oh no, intercepted again by Frost. He almost did it again right there by intercepting the ball. I love how Frost keeps going for that. Barahaz trying to keep them back with this Barley. And then Payne just taking his time, waiting for his supercharged star power to give him that super. There's the super, and now is he going to use it? Is he going to speed support? He's going to speed support his teammate. Again, intercepted by Frost, who's going to super kick it out but to no avail. Unfortunately, Payne's gonna still be able to finish it thanks to Barhaz and RBM up there to keep the enemy back. Well, there you go. I love all the new teams we've been seeing. Ion Gaming, Kultu BGG, WTFA. Seeing so many new faces and I love it. All the action in this week of ESL Mobile Open. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now let's head back to the desk.
I mean, back at it again. Ash doing a fantastic job breaking it all down. Brawl Stars is, in my mind, it's a game of inches, not miles. The tiniest plays, like 1% that first heist game, 34-35. The ult had finished, the super animation had completed. We would have seen a different final outcome. Yeah, no, that was my reaction too. Talk about coming down to the wire.
The question that I have about that though, in that situation, is that don't lose to us in that scenario by 1%. What happens if you lose to them? What happens? I have to know.
No. I mean, I feel
Their
like
name is so foreboding.
Yeah, don't lose to us. It's like they'll just look outside the window and there's like a creepy figure on this. No, I don't. Let's not think. It's not Halloween yet, guys. It's not even a summer. Hang on. But no, all I know is Glitter. So many close matches. Like trying to pick a favorite. Even like there were so many matches that happened last week. Even of the ones that Ash highlighted there, trying to pick a favorite. Good luck. Which is just giving me so much excitement about the mobile challenge.
No, 100%. If you guys are wondering where exactly you can keep up with all of that action, make sure you're doing !social. I don't know how many times we're going to tell you guys, but !social in chat. Follow us everywhere on social media so you can keep up with what we've got going on from week to week, because there's always something a little special going on, right? But before we go do any more, guys, we've got to kick it to a quick break. But when we come back, we've got even more action from this last week of our ESL Mobile Open. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I go ready for it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open recap here for week number 7. Oh my goodness. I'm Verum, and this is
I'm Glitter Explosion.
Yeah. And I was going to say, where's the time gone? But we've already identified that time is an enigma here in the year of 2021. But the games have continued to deliver. Brawl Stars, absolutely fantastic. Again, good luck trying to pick one moment from this past week of gameplay. And I'm gonna level with you. Clash of Clans, basically the same way. But before we get too far into it, I have to talk about AnyKey glitter. I got to do it.
Yep. I mean, we mention it every single week for you guys, so you don't forget. But you can head on over to AnyKey.org and you can sign the Good Luck Have Fun pledge today. Highly recommend that you do it. It's an initiative that is, promoting diversity and inclusion in gaming and esports, reducing your toxicity online, because that's never a bad thing, right, Paul?
I would actively say that it's a good thing.
It's a fantastic thing.
Yes. And look, I'm going to be honest. The mobile esports community as a whole has been one of the more positive communities that I've seen. These various games, people are generally a lot more supportive of each other. Yeah, there's some like inter-game sort of, that have some fun with each other. But no, on the whole, the communities I've seen have been fantastic. But that doesn't mean there's not an opportunity for you there to go sign the pledge, put something down on paper, get an exclusive badge on Twitch, be one of over a million people who have signed this pledge. But you can hear us talk about it, but we've also got this video, some other folks sharing their experiences with it. So let's take a look.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
So like we said, AnyKey.org. Sign the Good Luck Have Fun pledge today. I signed it and Verum has signed it. So go do it. Get your badge in Twitch and just be a good person. All right? Because you know who else probably signed it?
Who?
Everyone in the Clash of Clans community, because that's what we're doing next.
There it is. I was like, there's so many places she can go with this, and I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know. No, you know what I do know though? Leaderboards and leaderboards that are close. Okay. Can we talk about? So these have been tie broken out. Our lovely League Ops team has gone through. They've done the math. These, as of now, again, there's still gameplay this week, but as of now, this leaderboard is correct. But second place, tie in terms of points. Fifth and sixth place, tie in terms of points. Clash of Clans has literally never been closer than this. It is nutty.
I don't even know how that's possible, honestly, because we've seen week over week, we've seen insane plays coming out of so many different clans. This is insane, and I don't anticipate that they're about to let up anytime soon, because they still have a little bit more time to shake these standings up, and they're definitely going to use it.
100%. I mean, Train Station Gaming has been one of these teams up there at the top, getting knocked down out of that place, which is, of course, important as we look towards this top 9 with Coastal Clash making it in this top 9 right now. And we're talking about top 9 because it's really important, because those are the teams that make it on to the play-ins at the end of all of this. But there's still so many great teams. I mean, Hydrogen Gaming, Brian Fan Club, Aphelion Hydra, like so many of these great squads that aren't in this top 8 right now, Glitter, which is absolutely staggering, especially when you think about the amount of ESL Mobile Open alumnists who are in contention right now. Teams like Coastal Clash, Zombie Doom, One Hive. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be wild, because the one thing I need to remind everybody of is that Clash of Clans right now is at a point where one tiny slip up of mistake will cost you so much in these wars. One attack goes right. We've seen 15 to 50, we've seen perfect wars. So nobody wants to take that chance. Nobody wants to take the risk of having to deal with play-ins. Teams want to be that number 1 spot. So you look at that top 3 right now, Glitter. I got my eyes there. It's close.
Oh, 100%. Not only is the top 3 obviously insanely close with that tie, but you said it yourself. We saw it there on the leaderboard. 9th through 11th, if people are battling it out for that 9th spot, if both 9th through 11th is separated by less than 10 points. So, I mean, there's just, you cannot afford a single solitary mistake this entire time, this entire final week. And you know who's going to tell us about all of those arising new metas and just how close all of this action is?
Is it Eric?
I think it is Eric. I think it's time that we
nice.
check in with what he had to say about this last week, because this time around, yet again, it was another doozy.
Hey, thanks Enverum and Glitter. Lots of big swings here around the leaderboards here as a lot of teams are shifting up and down. And we're going to dive into some of the top attacks of the week here in week 3 of the ESL Mobile Open for Clash of Clans. So we're starting to get close to the ESL Mobile play-ins, and so the teams are definitely fighting tooth and nail, and it's interesting to see brand new strategies emerging like this Super Witch and Super Archer Smash. And that's kind of crazy because we only saw the strategy once before, and it was last week right here in the ESL Mobile Open, and the team that kind of started using it was Train Station, which is playing out of Space Station Gaming and are number 2 on the leaderboards, and they're going against the Golden COC playing out of Black Zone, and they're currently number 13 on the leaderboards, trying to work their way up in the top 9, because if the teams can get into the top 9 before the end of next week, then they qualify for the ESL Mobile play-ins, and that could ultimately get them into the ESL Mobile Challenge, where they can go on and win big money, and they can also get a potential ticket to the World Championship. So definitely a lot in line here for these teams. But Anthony started in with a Warden Walk in the top corner. He wall broke out the center of the base. He's got a jump spell, and he already used some lightning to take out some Expos, an Inferno, and the Warden statue. Go after some high density damage area there that he can just kind of thin out and make so the Super Archers can have a little bit easier way through the base here. Then he has the King, uses Yak to break the wall down at the left-hand corner, and then the Siege Barracks down behind to start funneling in the Wizards, and then the Wizards are getting protection because he's got the Super Witches and the Super Archers coming in on one side, the King and the P.E.K.K.A. out of the Siege Barracks on the other, and then he wall breaks open the corner of there because not all the troops there took the jump, and also lets the Valkyries in so that they can go all into the core of the base here. They all tend to veer south. It looks like a couple of Super Archers straggle out at the edge there towards the top and go after the Eagle Artillery, which is not a bad pickup there. Gotta admit, you gotta get the Eagle Artillery down, and the sooner you get down, the better. The Valkyries go all the way to the middle there. They help get the Town Hall down, and then he can coast from there. The Super Archers that are staying near the walls along the bottom of the base are getting cross-tanking there from the Super Witches in the middle of the base with the healers, and then the King and the P.E.K.K.A. work on the outside. So just a really, really fantastically set up attack here. It wasn't perfect on the funnel on the top side, but it did it just well enough there, and it worked out nice there when he got the Eagle Artillery down. But he still has so many troops alive. The Super Archers and the Super Witches staying intact and working together. There's a lot of synergy between them. I'm actually really surprised that the Super Archers have so much synergy with Super Witches. And compared to Super Witch attacks, this one is very fast. Look at the timer on that, guys. Crazy. So I also saw some cool tricks coming in here from One Hive as they're playing out of King of King, and they've actually climbed all the way up to number 3 on the leaderboards on an absolute tear. Currently on a 6-win streak here as week 3 concludes, and they're just doing some amazing things here. But there's a trick here that I just wanted to quickly highlight, and then we're gonna go over to a different attack. But Pidgey has been doing these Warden Walks where he brings in an additional quake. Look, he has 5 earthquakes in this attack here. And whenever he sees the battle builders all around the town hall, when he's doing his Warden Walks, he uses a earthquake on it. And that makes so that the battle builders have to turn around and repair their own hut. And if you think about it, you also get the damage onto the town hall itself. So he rages up there, and then he drops in the quake to get the battle builders to go heal up their own hut. Then he can put the quad quake on the other side of the base so the Warden Walk can finish it off. And just a really, really interesting way to set up a Warden Walk here to make so it can move a lot faster. But Pidgey wasn't the only person adding random earthquakes into their attacks, and they have a very, very effective function in this one here. Watch this. He's going to start it with a Warden Walk in from the top corner. The Warden Walk can just go clear some of the trash on the outside. It has to be what we want to do here to set up these smash attacks against these anti-2-star ring bases. He wall breaks open in the middle, so very, very similar to how we saw the Super Witch and Super Archer attack go through, but he uses the Royal Champion to funnel the bottom side here, and that's gonna make so that he has a Stone Slammer for the backside attack there. But notice how he used the Earthquake to soften up those cannons, so when the RC popped her ability, she could one-shot them. That takes a lot of the damage off of her, and it softens up all of those buildings so the RC can move a little bit faster and get through a few extra buildings. And that makes so she cleared out that entire section of the base, and formed the funnel. She got a really nice funnel out of it. So now the super wizards come in with the P.E.K.K.A.s, and he hasn't put the jump down yet. And watch where he puts the jump here. He puts it up on the top corner, and so he gets all the troops that are kind of going that direction to wrap back in the base there. I wonder if that jump was even potentially forgotten and then he put it in after the fact. But one way or another, the nice part about doing it this way instead of some of the other ways is he has the blimp that he can swap out to if he doesn't want to use the stone slammer. So if everything goes well in the core, then he's safe to drop the stone slammer, and then the stone slammer can go and just go after the air defense first and then work his way through the multi. Although watch this. Stone slammer walks right past the multi inferno. Luckily it doesn't get burned up there and is able to continue a long way through the base here. But all the troops start to regroup at the bottom of the base there. They lose the healers, and he thinned out the defenses so much because he had the strong funnel into the core. You have to have a strong funnel into the core, and that's what these tips and tricks are all about here, guys, is getting that strong push in the core so you can get in there and take out that very, very dense area and have something hopefully survive out the backside and go pick off the rest of the base here with relative ease a lot of times, because usually there's so much in the core that there's not much left in the outside edge of the base there. Just a couple random buildings there protecting the trash. So if you don't get the core, then you're kind of screwed. So little tips like this to help you funnel can go a really long way. He swags the queen ability right there, makes it through the wall, and closes one out. And by the way, One Hive did win this war here, and they ended Train Station Gaming's win streak. So while we're on the topic of smash attacks, let's take a look at this attack here coming in from the best COC esports. They are currently our #1 team on the leaderboard. And I've noticed that when I look to their attacks, they do a lot of smash attacks, and they bring in these backside hogs. They just bring in like 5 hogs to almost every single attack that they do the smash attacks with. And it's just a really clever way to kind of back up the Royal Champion when you're using the blimp instead of a siege barracks, because they're using the blimp often to go after a different function, like trying to avoid the poison blast there and using it to snipe off the town hall. He can also get the CC pull, which he didn't get a full CC pull there. He only got 1 ice golem there, and so he's gonna have to deal with whatever CC is still in that. But he also got the funnel here, and the funnel is to make so that the queen can predictably join up with the P.E.K.K.A.s and they can have a straight shot through the base. That's very, very important. He puts P.E.K.K.A. and the king on the outside edge of the base there, and then he puts the golem with the super wizards and the P.E.K.K.A.s towards the inside of the base, and then jumps through the base. He's got 2 jumps, which is a nice part about using this relative to the Zap Quake version of the smash attacks, because you end up with a lot more extra spells when you do this, and that affords you to use 2 jumps instead of having to bring in 7 lightning and a quake for a lot of attacks. So the jumps will carry him into the backside of the base here, but he has the king working along the outside edge of the base there still, and he needs some extra support there for the Royal Champion. Normally the siege barracks would release some hogs and he would have them to support the Royal Champion, and that's the most common way that we've seen the Royal Champion used for a very, very long time. But now that we don't have that option, since we're using the blimp, he brings in some additional hogs, and that allows him to work that Royal Champion through and get a little bit of fodder out in front of her, a little bit extra damage, and keep her protected as she makes her way through. So the P.E.K.K.A.s continue to work their way through along the bottom of the base there. He's able to get the single inferno down as the queen went through a jump and took it out, making the way clear here for the Royal Champion to sweep all the way through. And I mean, at this point, he's pretty much just coasting. He has the RC ability. He can pop right there to take out a handful of Teslas. He got the cannon and an arch tower. Huge, huge value out of the RC ability. Be able to catch 4 defenses and destroy all of them is always what we're looking for. He has a freeze for the backside as well, protecting the RC all the way through. And we know that during most smash attacks, if you're able to protect a Royal Champion on the backside of the base there, and you have anything surviving through the main push, you're probably gonna triple. Usually what causes the fail of smash attacks is the Royal Champion dying early, running into an enemy hero, getting locked onto by a single inferno. Anything that you can do to give her the protection that she needs is going to make her have a much, much better chance of success. Now, this next attack we're gonna go look at is a attack from our #2 seed. And the reason I wanted to show this one right here is because not only is he doing a 15 sneaky goblin Subihiro Lalo, but things don't go right during this. And it's a perfect example of sticking to the plan and not panicking and trying to recover when things don't go the way you expected. So he drops in a handful of sneak goblins to go grab at the storages all around the town hall. The CC is not in a spot where it's going to get pulled in any significance right there. Looks like he got a couple archers out as the baby dragon starts to clear out the left-hand corner over by where he used, what, like 2 lightning and a quake there to go take out cannon and an archer. Maybe it's 3 lightning, but one way or another, a very, very small amount of lightning over the left-hand corner just to be used as a funnel over there. And as he works his way over the town hall, he has 5 sneaky goblins left. He already triggered a handful of traps over there, but with only 5 sneaky goblins, he has to get the town hall, but they hit traps. He makes it invisible, and he made the town hall invisible on top of that, but I don't think he would have got it either way because there were additional traps there, and the sneaky goblins kind of spread off to the side there, and they hit the bombs, and it took him out there. But now you have to start working about backup plans here because he used 15 sneaky goblins and some of his spell spore and wall breakers on that side of the base. So he doesn't have access to really take the town hall. He could try to just go panic mode here and throw all of the Lalo at the town hall and try to recover it that way, but he still has the battle builders there topping everything off in the area. But rather than panicking, and he even did make a couple mistakes there. He dropped in a haste instead of a skeleton spell up to protect his raw champion, and he had to burn an extra invisibility up there as well. So there were some mistakes in here, and it was causing him some problems. But he sends in the Lalo where he originally planned to, and then he collapsed in from every direction to work his way in and end on the town hall. He went after all the defenses, was able to get him down there without any haste. He had a couple phrases just to lock down the town hall a couple times on his approach, and he was still able to pull it through. So don't give up on your attacks, guys. If something goes wrong, obviously if it's really bad there, then lock in the town hall. But if it's some small mistakes there, then don't give up on your plan. Try to get the town hall down still and see if you can still get that triple. There's only one more week before the ESL Mobile Open play-in. So one more week of open ladder play, and they're going to be fighting tooth and nail to get into those top 9 spots there so they can qualify for the next phase of the competition. I'm excited to see who ultimately makes it. All right, Environment Glitter, I'm sending it back to you guys.
Oh, Zinch. Oh, boy. Okay. Everything that could possibly have gone wrong went wrong. Sneaky goblins, not sneaky enough. Let's make them invisible. But oh crap, I also made the building invisible that I was trying to destroy. That wasn't a haste. That's not a haste spell. Or that is a haste spell. It's not a skeleton. Everything. And I'm going to be honest, definitely an attacker favorite meta helping him out there. But sticking to your guns, Glitter. There is something to be said for that, to stick to the plan.
Yeah, and you know what else I love about the whole like sticking to your guns idea generally? I mean, we saw again this week Pidgey was doing the Warden walks where he's bringing that additional quake. Now that was something that he did last week as well. Was like Eric was kind of like, I don't know what's going on. This is different. He stuck with it this week. It continued to be successful, and I feel like this is multiple times now we've seen for Clash of Clans where there's these new strategies, there's new metas emerging, and they're being used, and they're being used well.
And there's enough components of the game now. There's so many new additional elements that have been added to Clash of Clans, even the last couple of years that I've been casting it. The players can start to add their own signature flair to some of these things, like get wrecked builders. Here's an earthquake. You're distracted.
Exactly.
Little things like that I love, because players are starting to be able to really build their own identities. It's not just Rigotoras being, an all-star air attacker now. Other players are starting to come in and make names for themselves, which is awesome as we get into the ESL Mobile Challenge. That's really where we get to see these players shine. But that's Clash of Clans all wrapped up in the book. It's time to head on over to Clash Royale next, Glitter, which means it's going to be Rich Slayton breaking that all down. We'll see you guys in a few.
Think about you.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the ESL Mobile Open recap. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Invera.
And it is time for us to get into yet another game. This time it is Clash Royale. But before we talk to you guys about anything that's happened, we gotta do a very important reminder because in Virum, the prize pool has in fact increased.
It has. We got some feedback from the community, Glitter, that look, this prize pool is not quite cutting it. You know what? We heard you. We heard you loud and clear. So for North America and Europe, we increased the prize pool to $3,500 a piece for the ladder, which means the first place prize has now been elevated to $1,000, which is certainly a nice little step up here for the program.
Yes.
So definitely something to keep an eye on, even if you weren't necessarily able to start participating this season. Looking forward, and I'm getting a little birdie. We might be looking at some of the other prize pools for some of the other games as well. So definitely something to keep an eye on here. If you've been on the fence about competing in the Mobile Open, another little bit of incentive to do just that. And a player who doesn't need any incentive to continue dominating this leaderboard, Glitter, Derek, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up at the top.
Just Derek. He
Just
is right
Derek.
now. He's fighting for that $1,000. Okay, he's like, you know what? The prize pool went up. I'm gonna do my best to grab it. But moving down the rest of the list, we see Zod, one of our only players actually from the first ladder to maintain a top 3 position, a name that, you know, we've talked about quite a few times. But other than that, things are changing up here yet again.
Yeah, a lot of new names making their appearance. Again, a couple that we recognized from the last ladder, but it's really exciting to see these new players joining us here on the leaderboard. And again, Rich is going to go into it a little bit more, but the idea that we have players who, there's Smurfs who we know, and still some Smurfs that we don't. And that is really exciting to try and figure out who some of these players are. And also this idea, like Derek, up at the top there, 14-0 so far this season.
Yeah.
He is not even necessarily the player with the highest total lifetime trophy count. Like,
No,
there are players who grinded higher than him.
Yeah, which obviously Rich is gonna, you know, dive into all the specifics of that. But needless to say, it is yet another week of some record-setting performances. So I will never get sick of this show. But if you guys are wondering exactly what I'm talking about, let's check in with Rich so he can break down all of our Clash Royale weekend from this past week.
Thanks, Paul and Glitter. I'm Rich Slayton from Clash Royale League, and we are into our second split of the ESL Mobile Open for Clash Royale in North America, and we are seeing some familiar faces, some new stars emerge, and of course, the meta continues to shift and follow the way esports is going for Clash Royale overall. So, of course, our featured deck of the week is Fireball Bait, but it's not one specific deck, it's 2 common variations on one theme. Fireball Bait, the basic idea is Royal Hogs, Zappies, and Flying Machine. Those 3 cards, each of which take a Fireball to kill, they work really well together, with Barb Barrel and Fireball being the last 2 parts of this 5-part combo. But then the deck takes 2 different directions. In one way, Royal Recruits, Goblin Cage, and Electro Spirit, very popular right now. The other half of it going for the double broken combo of E-Barbs and Mother Witch, with a Mega Knight playing the role of the big counter as opposed to the Goblin Cage for pull. So 2 different ways you can play the same sort of archetype, same idea. This has been very dominant in CRL for dual mode, especially when paired with an Electro Giant deck, and it's also been very popular here. Our top 2 players have made use of this archetype to great success. Speaking of our top players, let's go ahead and take a look at the top 3 at this stage in our second ladder for North America. And kicking things off, a familiar face from the first round, it's Zod. Zod, who you might also know as Bale, is back in the top 3 for our second split. He spent most of that first split in the top 3, but ended up finishing 5th on a very respectable record of 16-9, but not quite able to crack the podium. Zod is a very talented esports competitor playing for Delta Stars in Mexico, and on his main account, Bale, he has a personal best of 74-22 and 26 points for the 2021 Clash Royale League. He is definitely one to keep an eye out for as a contender. But Zod is the only player from last split to currently sit in those top 3 spots. We have 2 new faces right in front of him. And first, coming up at our number 2 spot on the ladder in the rankings at this moment, the 19-year-old American, Asker. Asker is playing on a mini but won't reveal his main account. What we do know is that he can certainly play Clash Royale so far with an 11-1 record. His only loss so far is to the 4th ranked Alex 1199, our 2nd place finisher from the first split. With a 7.6k personal best and a mastery of these Royal Hogs decks, Asker looks to be an early contender for our top spot. But he is going to have a very difficult mountain to climb because our first place is currently held by the undefeated 14-0 player, Derek. That's right, just Derek. Derek's the whole thing. 14-0 though, you don't need a fancy name. You don't need a fancy handle. All you need is gameplay, and right now, right in a 7k personal best and 14 straight wins, including victories over Zod and a very talented esports veteran in Puddin. Derek is winning like crazy. 14 wins and no losses. That's going to be very, very hard ground to make up, but of course, right behind him at 11-1 is Asker. If these two meet, that could be fireworks. So far, though, those two have not come head-to-head. Hopefully, we might get that one next week. But for now, it's time for our match of the week. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. This is going to be a really fun one between Asker, our number 2 player on the ranking so far, and Alex. So here we go. Asker, bottom of your screen. Alex at the top. You see the little good luck come out from Alex. And as you can see, it's looking like Asker is going with something a little bit quick cycle here, might be going Miner Mortar E-Barbs. We'll see if that is the overall choice in the end. Alex kind of holding back right now as the Miner goes to the safe spot here for Asker to open things up. Pulled by the Fisherman. Of course, no King Tower activation in that position, but first blood drawn, 23-66 on the top left-hand tower of Alex, who sets up with his Dark Prince in the back, Musketeer, and yes, it will be Mortar Miner Musk with E-Barbs for Asker. Nice high cycle deck, very fast to get around. Lots of pressure from this deck can be created, and of course he'll love that mortar here against that Ram Rider. We'll see how he chooses to get his damage down, mostly high E-Barbs here against the Musketeer. That's 6 to counter 2 and right into a P.E.K.K.A. So check this out. Big Mama P.E.K.K.A. will be on the board. Asker does have 1 extra elixir in the hole, but that's a half-health P.E.K.K.A. there on the board right now. Miner to the inside corner. Asker, good recognition early that he's not going to be up against a tornado. P.E.K.K.A. will not make it to tower, and Miner to that inside number 3 spot gets a ton of damage early on. 20-30 plus a mortar connection opposite direction. So far, first 90 seconds away, and it is Asker way out to the lead, but does miscalculate a bit and give up that Ram Rider connection and give away the majority of that lead here. We're now crosswise 20-30 to 20-94 as Alex sets up his Dark Prince in the back right-hand side. A bit of leakage here for Asker as he sets up with the Ice Golem to counter. Musketeer might come down late, rips off that shield with the log. Pretty standard maneuver here, and now we do have 2 different lanes, but right now Asker's still going to that left-hand side, trying to create that opposite lane pressure away from where Alex wants to be playing. But Alex probably does have the better dual lane pressure here, the ability to set up a P.E.K.K.A. in the back as we get later. Those E-Barbs can split, of course, as we're seeing, but it does feel like the split lane pressure might be better for Alex in the long run, although this E-Barb going to get at least 1 shot here. 2 shots come in, and color me wrong, it is Asker now who has the much more damaging split lane pressure, but Mother Witch will get fireballed off. P.E.K.K.A. down with tanking for that Piggy, though. That's going to be a lot of damage on the left-hand side as the Ram Rider comes in on the right-hand side. This is what I was talking about beforehand, so you might see a lot of dual lane pressure coming out from Alex, but from Asker, but look what Alex can do right now. This Ram Rider will also connect. Not a full-on charge, but still damage done. Fireball takes off the Musketeer. No, the Fireball misses the Musketeer. Oh my word, that is a mistake you cannot take. And that was the Ram Rider stunning the Muskie, keeping her in place maybe a half second longer than Alex might have anticipated. He thought that Muskie was going to walk right into the Fireball. It doesn't happen, and that is a lot of wasted elixir there. Still gets the tower damage, but man, that does change a lot of how you have to defend that on the opposite end. And now we see Big Mama P.E.K.K.A. behind the Fisherman P.E.K.K.A., a classic combination, very popular in 2019, not so much these days as P.E.K.K.A. has fallen out of favor, but we are seeing a bit of it specifically with P.E.K.K.A. Ram Rider these days. Mama P.E.K.K.A. still tanking here as the Musketeer for Alex gets onto the Mortar, and that's a lot of elixir leaked again for Asker, who has been letting a lot go here, but trying to get his timing down. Good pull with the Ice Golem, and the E-Barbs make short work of the Ram Rider. We have just around 80 seconds left in sudden death overtime. And for the moment, Alex does have the lead by only, wow, take a look at that, 5 HP difference as we go into the final minute. This is going to be a tight one, folks. Start biting your nails right about now. Musketeer high for Alex with the bar barrel. Takes the opposing Musketeer off the board. Kite with the Ice Golem, but the Fisherman says, no way, Jose. You're not kiting here. And that Ram Rider, again, though, the E-Barb's doing a great job countering the Ram Rider, which is nice for Oscar because it does set up the mortar for offense, as we see right there on the right-hand side. It frees up those mortar possibilities to create pressure as opposed to purely be defensive. And, man, trying to win this purely off of Miner is going to be difficult. He does have Fireball as well, though. Final 40 seconds. Fisherman, Dark Prince to the right-hand lane, Pekka to the left-hand lane. 2 mortars down right now for Asker. E-Barb's going to have to come out here on this pull, and they do. Mama Pekka trying to get them off the board, but a nice log there out of Asker. But full health Pekka on the right-hand side with a Dark Prince. This is going to be a lot to deal with. And there you go. Skeletons to cycle to hold on. And Asker going to go ahead and continue just to try to kite the best that he can. But this is a lot of trouble here in the left-hand lane. Pig, Dark Prince, Ram Rider, 11 seconds left. Fireball trying to get enough room. That Fireball on there as opposed to on the tower seems like an ill-advised choice here, although maybe knowing that he does have... Oh, and the Ram Rider just barely doesn't connect. And there you have it. That's it. The Fireball may have won it for Alex. Tries to get the Ram Rider on tower instead, and instead loses by 75 HP. What a win for our number 2 player. So it's the Fireball that does him in. Alex, 2 Fireballs. One doesn't get the Musketeer early on in the game. Another one goes to the Mortar rather than getting tower damage at the end. Maybe he felt like he knew that the cycle of his opponent of Asker would get a Fireball down if he needed it and wanted to get the Ram Rider on. That's a hard call to make, and the Ram Rider just barely didn't get on tower. So tough decision there by Alex, but in the end, Asker does come out on top, and that's why he's number 2. And of course, you could be number 2. Heck, you could be number 1, but you have a lot of ground to make up. So if you're watching right now, go ahead and go to play.eslgaming.com, register for this tournament, get in your matches right now. We have seen players join in late and take the lead, take the win overall here in our previous split. So maybe next week, I'll be calling you here for the ESL Mobile Open in North America. That's it for me. I'm Rich Slayton. Back to you, Paul and Glitter.
Always got to give a huge props to Rich Slayton for putting all these together, taking a high-level overview of the competition, and then getting to see one of those matches at the end casted in their entirety. Always so close. Especially when you get into that double extra time and everybody's just throwing spells, throwing troops back and forth. I mean, my heart was pounding. It's one of those situations where, again, one maybe slightly sweaty finger, one slightly misplayed Fireball can actually cost you so much glitter. It's nuts.
75 HP. That was the difference. That's literally nothing. I mean, and then like we had mentioned, we've got, somehow in the final moments of the ESL Mobile Open, we've got more Smurfs coming into play. I mean, Asker is having an insanely strong showing right now. So just more names. I was going to say new names, but I guess until we find out who the actual Smurf is, for all we know, it could be an old name, but showing up here on our leaderboards, and I just love to see it.
Yeah, and I just love the idea that there are players who are trying to make more of a name for themselves, trying to break into that broader competitive Clash Royale scene. And this is just another way to put some money in your pocket and get some awesome exposure. Cannot wait to see how this ladder wraps up. But that's it for Clash Royale for today. But we're not done quite yet, Glitter. We got one more game in store.
One more game in store, which means you guys can't go anywhere, because when we come back, all of that amazing PUBG Mobile action we have for this last week. So see you then. And welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Mobile Open Recap. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Inverum.
And we are into our final game of the day. It is time to talk PUBG Mobile. And this is an important one, an important week here in Verum, because PUBG Mobile works a little bit differently than some of our other games do.
For sure. We are not advancing on to a challenge season for PUBG Mobile. There's a lot of stuff going on in the competitive PUBG Mobile ecosystem. So we get to put a nice little finale on ours with a final tournament for each one of these ladders. The last one was epic. It was really intense. Came down to the wire. An epic triple kill finish. Only 5 points separating it. And it makes sense that the team who won the whole thing is continuing to play in this next one. But what's awesome about this is we get to determine who our winners are. Well, in fact, this next coming weekend is very much exciting. Let's take a look at our leaderboard, though, because it's all about the top 16. We got 3 pages of teams to show you, and other games have been close, Glitter, and PUBG Mobile continuing with that trend.
Oh, 100%. 100%. B-Town Esports doing very well for themselves here in our second ladder in general, holding on to that first place position. But look down the list. I mean, second and third place are only separated by 7 points. There's a literal tie at fifth place, which is only, down below fourth by 3 points. It's literally anybody's game right now, but these are pretty much the solidified teams, right?
Yeah.
These are the ones that are mostly safe. We see a lot of names that we recognize. It's when we move on to the next 2 pages where things start to get a little spicy.
Oh, yes. Again, lots of really, really solid names. We know names like HQA, Mazexis, Moonlight CN are winners from ladder number 1. Level X down there at the bottom. 420 points. Nice. But, Glitter, there are some teams that are hot on their heels.
Yeah, and this is where it starts to get interesting, okay? We see 17th place is 11 points, essentially, right behind 16th place. And that's where they need to be if they want to get in to qualify for finals. But looking at this list, we see Col2BGBG, who was a team that was leading the first ladder in the first time around. We see Valiant Esports. We see V2, Pro Era, all names that we recognize here in the next grouping, the next 8, lines, next 8 ranks of teams here that are trying to get into the top 16 position. And when we take into consideration that, I think it was last weekend, we saw a 21 kill game out of Chivas Esports last week. If you have any sort of a strong showing like that here in your last moments to do so, it could still be anybody's game.
Less than 30 points separating the top 16 and the top 24. It is down to the wire. You know what? If you make it in 4th place, you make it in 15th, you still gotta make it in. That's what these teams are really pushing for here, going into our finals event this coming Sunday. Actually, is where you can tune into that one. So
it's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be good. It's good. I mean, I think, games this week were pretty darn solid as well. If they're setting the stage, if they're sort of our appetizer going onto the entree that is our finals, it's a pretty good indication of how solid the action is going to be. I felt kind of bad for Jukes this past week because he had to try and pick only a handful of plays to show. And I have to say, Glitter, we had ourselves some doozies. So let's send it over to Hot Jukes to break down the action from week number 7.
Hey, what's up, Advira? What's up, Glitter? Okay, week 7, we got it going on here. 1 more week left to go, and then the finals are coming up, baby. So I know you guys already dove into the scores a little bit, but I really want to emphasize what we got going on here because there's 1 week left, only one left to see who's going to be top 16 and who's going to play in the finals. So let's go ahead and head over to the scoreboard once again, and we're going to look at that bottom of the leaderboard. Who is going to make it into that top 16? This is that bubble of teams that have a possibility of making it in. And in my opinion, you're going to have all the way down to team 24 at least. Now look at the teams that are currently in contention of being knocked out. Quite a few huge names. I mean, look at this. Team 20. 20th place, Col2BGBG, the team that was the top squad going into the first split. They're in 20th. They're not going to make it to the finals if they don't have a phenomenal last week. So this is something I'm going to be really looking at. Valiant Esports, another big team. Pro Era. A lot of huge squads are looking to climb up through the ranks and absolutely dominate because they have to if they want to play in the finals coming up. So this is where I really want to emphasize. These are the teams that I'm really going to be looking at next week to make it into that finals. So this is what I want to really show. Now that we've shown that, got that out the way, let's get into the gameplay. And we're going to start off with my play of the week this week. Let's do it. And my play of the week has got to go to Chemical Cloud MX. Now look at this play. This is, by the way, this is the team that is currently in 3rd place in the overall leaderboards. Look at this off angle. Vigles able to get the Groza, baby. And he's hiding by that crate. And he's basically baiting out his teammate. Avery ends up going down. While he's waiting here on the side, the second he gets the peek out, gets the 1 knock. Going for the second. And guess what, baby? He's gonna get the squad wipe all by himself. Huge chicken dinner. Chemical Cloud MX popping up big. And that was against Mazexis Esports, baby. What a play. And we're gonna start off the action inside of Eric Gale. Look at this. We're gonna see Team Cruelty getting in some plays. Nice little pre-fires there to the smoke, trying to help out their teammate. Gonna get that piece up. Now they have 1 knock. Now look at I mean, this guy has to boost up to 1 HP at this point. I mean, the dude is lit out of his mind. The rest of his team's gonna have to make some plays. Faker tries to throw that Molotov, and those mollies you have to throw on top of the rock. Fortunately, threw it a little bit on that off angle, wasn't able to get it. So a little bit of a misplay there, but it's kind of a tough one to hit. So now they got the rest of Team Cruelty. It's just Faker left. And this starts to get a little bit scary because, you know, they see him piece him up, so they know exactly where he is. But look at that. Faker comes back, gets 2 knocked, but instantly the remaining member of Team Cruelty gets that beautiful finish. Next up, we're headed to Miramar, and I'm going to break this one down big time because you're going to see right here a misplay that I hate to see. Look at the Hawaii's. Hawaii's going to run up in a 1v1. Crush this player here. I mean, look at this play. Well done. Gets shot from the side. Instant laydown. I mean, this is beautifully executed. Goes for the first aid. Says, how about I just take out this player right here? No problem. The man is feeling himself. He is in the zone. Now, I want everybody to look and think where he misplays this. Okay? Hawaii's gonna go, obviously, for the thirst onto Psycho, which is a well played. Now, pause. What should Hawaii's do right now? You got to go for the second thirst. He knocked Zhao, and Zhao is giving pure comms to his teammate, the last remaining one, the man, of what he's doing. And if Hawaii's, you need to go for the thirst here, because not only is it an extra point, which is huge, but it completely eliminates the ability for that teammate to give that comms, that information that is so viable. And look what happens because of it. As we play this now, you're going to see Hawaii go for a challenge against the man, but the man's got the intel. He knows what's up and is able to get the finish. So that one little misplay, I think he was just feeling himself a little too much after getting those kills and paid the price and didn't end up getting the chicken dinner because of it. So that's something I really want to look at. And players, if you're doing this, think about that. That's something you can't afford to do, especially here at this high level. Now we're going to head on over to see an all-out brawl inside of Pecado, baby. In the apartments, look at this battle we're going to see between Off-Season GG and the Simps. That's right, not their Simps. Team name, the Simps. And look at this. One of the Simps gets pieced up really well there. He's going to kind of hold it down. And they're just trying to defend this position against Off-Season. And they're pushing up hard together as a squad. That's something I like to see. I love to see a little bit more use of utility to try and open up the fight. And you're going to see some of it here come up in a second. But they're just wanting to get this done with guns all out ablazing. Now, we're going to see right here. Look at this. One knock from Toker, the main Simp, getting Omega. Another knock coming out as well. And here comes Off-Season. Dan Boy gets a huge 2v1, flicks onto his own teammate there. I mean, right now this man's in the zone, just trying to get it done. And they're going to both go for these resets. I'm surprised Dan Boy doesn't try to get more aggressive. Look at the Molotov! The Molotov coming out from Soul. So huge. We're going to speed this up. Surprisingly, they're able to get everyone back up. And Off-Season, after that misplay, they are just going to come in hot to finish off the Simps. Toker trying to get a first aid off, as here comes the rest of Off-Season GG. They know that, hey, you know what? We got the numbers advantage. We got the people. Let's send it in together. And look at this. One by one, they just take out each Simp. Look at that. And look at the BM coming out from Dan Boy. They're feeling themselves, baby. That's the toxicity. That's what I want to see here in the ESL Mobile Open. Hanging on in Miramar, we're going to take a look at Sailing Pro. Now, this is the team that is currently second over on the leaderboards. They're an absolute lock into the finals, and this is the reason why. Look at this. Pandy through the smokes, able to get a nice couple pieces up. You're going to tell the rest of his team where exactly the enemies are. They're going to have to get into a battle together. As soon as they hear those shots against each other, they know this is third-party time. Let's start sending it up into here. And they use those smokes beautifully to be able to find some extra angles. Look at Pandy getting another knock, getting the finish. I mean, just executed to perfection. That's why we're seeing this team crush it. Second place overall. Can't wait to see how they end up performing in the finals coming up. Heading on over back to Eric Gale. We're going to look at Extreme Ice, the last remaining member. Snake City, baby. We have to at least see one Snake play. And look at this. Here comes Evo sending it on to the last remaining member. And he's in big trouble. He's in big trouble here. He's going to try to survive, do everything he possibly can. But, I mean, look at this. Evo are sending it on here, switching to FPP. That kind of helps you be able to see through the smokes just a little bit better, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're just going, using their utility, trying to find the last guy, and look how they're going to end up finding him here. Through the smokes, Schwan coming up, getting the 1v1, easy pickings, gets the chicken dinner. Next up, we're going to look at BLW here. Now, this is a massive game for them. Look at that, 16 kills they've got, and they're looking for more. They're hungry for blood. They're outside of the zone. He does end up getting absolutely wrecked here by David. That's a beautiful play from him. And the rest of them need to just focus together. They can't just start sending this one by one. Otherwise, they're gonna get caught because David ain't messing around. But you know what? Norza ends up catching Mystic on the off angle. Only one remaining member left on the enemy team. Gonna hard peek it, get bodied. So well executed there. A massive game for BLW. Huge kills, 18 in total. And speaking of BLW, I mean, just look at this beautiful play they had at Sandhawk. This is just nice. Look at that Norza boy. I just have to show this. Look at this nade. Blind nade from downtown. Boom. Gonna miss. Next nade, though. Bang, baby. If you can't hit him once, you can hit him twice. I just had to show that. It was beautiful. Next up, look at this in Miramar, the Rejects. Psych. Got that duck backpack on, and that duck backpack is smiling right now because he can see his boy Psych absolutely demolishing teams here. Look at that, another Rejects the man. We saw him earlier try to do a nice little clutch up. He's going to be coming in from the back angle, and regardless, I mean, just a beautiful play. Now we're going to look at Mazexis Esports. Now, Mazexis, we saw them get bodied a little earlier in the show, but they say, you know what? We can't go out like that, Jukes. We gotta show you how we do some bodying. And look at revenge! Getting revenge on one of the members of GC. It's Bug. Another beautiful finish there. And he's got no helmet. He's got no helmet, but he's just gonna hold this off angle. Batman coming from a beautiful shot, so I get some good pieces up there. And they are just executing this perfectly. Oh, well, look at this nade. Batman says, oh, psych, never mind, no nade. Gonna pull out the gun here, get the finish. He sees the tail, he sees the feetsies. And he goes for the shots, and I think he wants it. Like, he wants that kill, he wants that point. Finally decides to pull the nade out. And here it goes. Can he hit it? That's what we all asked ourselves. Of course, it's Batman. All day long, throwing the Batarang out, getting it done. He's gonna go for the lay down. This is a beautiful play here, because he knows he's gonna most likely have to hard peek it because the zone's coming. And all he has to do is just wait, waste his time. The second he sees any pixel move, boom. And that's exactly how it's done. Chicken dinner, Mazexis Esports. And last but not least, we gotta look at B-Town, the top team currently here for the second split. And just look at why. Look how they push together, almost side by side, and just using each other so well. This is what I love to see from a top squad. Just absolute dominance. I mean, you can't do anything as a single player. There's just too much pressure, and all you gotta do is just go back to the lobby. B-Town, that is how you do it. Show the people how it's done. B-Town, I want to see you do it in the finals. I want to see you do it in the finals because Cold 2 BG, they were on top and they didn't win first place. B-Town, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. So, Bo, that's it for week 7, baby. Everybody give yourself a round of applause because that's all I got for you here. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm going to send it back over to you, Glitter and Envirum, to wrap things up. 1 week left. 1 week left. Let's go.
I mean, that was a fantastic breakdown of just how and why there's so much action week after week when it comes to PUBG Mobile. And I know that that final play there from B-Town wasn't too flashy, but for me, the reason that one stood out the most is because of the fact that it was just cohesive. Like, that was a coordinated team. They were focus firing well. They were staggering themselves in the event that they needed to trade off damage potentially coming in from the team that they were all pushing together. And it was just such a clean finish for the chicken dinner that that's the type of gameplay I'm going to be looking at going into the finals.
And I'm so glad I was going to highlight that one too, because to me, it felt so organic. That's how you want to see a team push, the way they were using the crest of the hill, never letting, more than one person be a target at once constantly. They're going to start getting shot. They're going to juggle aggro, never also taking the point where it's going to be just a one-on-one, always making sure they're able to leverage their numerical advantage. And it does the pure definition of run and gun, not being afraid to push an advantage they know that they have. It's that sort of killer instinct. We've talked about it in PMPL. We've talked about it here in the Mobile Open. And I'm excited to see what they can do in the finals, because this is going to be an exciting last week of play leading into those plans. Because Glitter, we had so many amazing moments over the course of the day. It's hard. You can't eat just one, but if you had to pick a couple of moments, what are you feeling?
I think this is going to be the first week where I don't pick specific moments. I think what actually stood out to me the most and what I enjoyed the most is that we had multiple leaderboards across multiple titles this week where there were multiple ties. Okay? That is just how close every single ladder is right now. And that's just, I think that's like the ultimate goal for this, right? Like, everyone is fighting tooth and nail for their position.
Literally hundreds of teams competing across all these different games, and we still have leaderboards that are this close. Yeah, I have kind of agreed. There are a couple of individual moments, but looking back, I really, and I love what Ash has been doing with these videos, highlighting like the really key pick and bans on the brawler front, because it's making me appreciate from Brawl Stars just the depth of the pool that you need, a brawler pool that you need to have. These top players can't be one tricks. This idea that you constantly have to be evolving and bringing new plays to the table, which carries through into Clash of Clans, where you constantly have to be iterating on these attacks, putting your own spin on them, trying to find the next way to not only break open the base, but break the meta open. And we're right in time for that, getting into these plans. So just so much great stuff from start to finish. I'm really excited because Glitter, again, one more week of play, which means that if you're watching this at home, exclamation point follow, please, not just on social media, but also here. If you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, you don't want to miss any of the action coming up. Please, Glitter, because I'm a little biased, but it is genuinely really exciting.
Oh, no, it is. And we have a great time here every single week. We fill you guys in if you did happen to miss anything. So you can always catch up with us here. So there's no way to lose in that scenario if you follow us.
Absolutely. So thanks for all of you who've tuned in, watching on the VODs, all that good stuff. I've been in Verum.
I'm still Glitter Explosion.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. Still us. And still very excited to be continuing to bring you all the mobile esports action here for the ESL Mobile Open. That's it for us this week, but we'll join you later on a slightly different time on Friday. We have Brawl Stars, we have Clash of Clans, we got PUBG Mobile. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you then.
Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouth. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. What your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. to level up. You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready now to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.